Hey guitar players! Today I'm going to talk you through how to apply some of the movement concepts we've been talking about recently in my previous videos, the stuff with the diminished arpeggios and the triads, how to take all of that and apply it to an actual tune, to a jazz standard. So we're going to start with the first one I remember learning, Autumn Leaves, and specifically we're going to do just the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves. Why? Well, if you know the tune, you'll know we're going to do it in the key of G or E minor. You'll know it goes 2, 5, 1 in a major key, and then it does a 2, 5, 1 in a minor key, the relative minor. That's important. We'll come back to that in a minute. So if I run you through the chords quickly, so we're going to do A minor 7. Play any version or voicing of these as you like. A minor 7, D7, and then G major 7. And then there's a little C major 7 in here as well. And then we go F sharp half diminished, or F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And then B7 altered if you like, whatever you like the sound of. And then E minor, or E minor major 7, or E minor 6, or whatever kind of flavour you're after. So that's the chord progression. So when we start improvising over this, as I mentioned before, quite often we get told to learn all of your arpeggios, okay, and there's quite a lot of those. You know, if we go through, learn all of this, there's quite a lot to remember. There's quite a lot to actually link together musically, and if you haven't seen the video I did on the harmonic minor and the diminished arpeggios, then maybe go and have a look at that, just to kind of see where we're coming from with all this. Okay, so what we're going to do, instead of doing all of the chord tone stuff, we're going to just simply take a G major triad, which is the key of the first half of the chord progression here. So we're going to take a G major. Now if you remember from the harmonic minor lesson and the diminished stuff I've been talking about recently, if you find the major 7th, so in this case F sharp, and you play a diminished triad on there, okay, then you get the sort of 5-1 cadence if you resolve that back to your G major here. So okay, so F sharp diminished, and that works over the 2, 5, 1 of this, right? So all we're doing is just targeting the 5-1 really. Okay, but then as we move along that string group, because that diminished thing repeats every 3 frets, right? Every minor third. I can play that, and then I find another G major triad around here. Okay, and I can resolve it to that one as well. I will do a lesson at some point in the future on breaking down like the fretboard into where all these triads fall and all that type of stuff. And there's another one, like there's the G major, so you've got, all I've done is move that same arpeggio up 3 frets and resolved it to that G major thing. Or you can come down from that one, D sharp there. Okay, so that's what we're going to play over the first half. Over the second half, the E minor section, let's do the same thing. Let's find this E minor triad up here, okay, on the 12th fret, find the major 7, okay, and resolve it back to that E minor. Now, if we look at the notes there, that's a D sharp, a C, an A, and an F sharp. F sharp there, okay, F sharp, D sharp, C, A. They're the same notes, right? So this is the same diminished arpeggio as what we were using down here originally. And then we think, oh, well, of course it is, because like we said earlier on that this is a 2-5-1 in the major key and a 2-5-1 in its relative minor key. So those things are very similar. So really, if we now plot out these E minor triads along that string, okay, look at this one here. Okay, if I take that G, okay, so I'm going 3, 5, 1, okay, if I move that 5 up to here, to the 6, I've got an E minor. Okay, so that's all you have to do to find from your major triad. You find the 5th and you move it up a tone, and you've got your relative minor. So this becomes quite efficient because we've got stuff that's really close by, and it's using the same arpeggio as the tension half of the progression. Okay, so if we venture up the fretboard, you've got G here, E minor here. Okay, so I could go, let's call it C diminished, G major, C diminished, E minor. Do you see what I mean? And then we could do that in all of these places. So you've got G, E minor. What we're trying to do here is get to the inner workings of these chords and try and target these tension and resolution points in the progression. All right, diminished, G major, diminished, E minor. Let's go up here, C diminished, G, E minor. You don't have to play many notes though, it's just, I didn't even play the whole arpeggio. G, E minor. Let's go to this one. Okay, so once we've spent enough time on the top 3 strings and we feel like we're confident there, start looking at the other string groups. Okay, so go down onto the D, G and B, and you'll find a G major here, an E minor here, and then anywhere you can find F sharp, D sharp, C or A, start your diminished arpeggio. So there's one. Resolve it to G, okay, or resolve it to E minor, depending on where you are. Okay, and then like just keep going along the string group. There's G, there's E minor, okay, and then there's G, there's E minor. All right, so alright, let's try the next string group. So, diminished, G major, E minor, diminished again, G major, E minor again. Maybe go up here. There's G. E minor. I just wanted to pause for a moment just to say a big thank you to everyone that has subscribed to this channel in the last couple of weeks. I started this channel on the 10th of September, and on the 6th of October it passed over 1,000 subscribers, which has blown my mind. I've literally no idea how that's happened. But yeah, thank you. And I basically created this channel as a place to send my real world students in between lessons, so they've got somewhere to go and practice. But the fact that people are turning out and enjoying some of the things I have to say is really, really cool, and I'm really, really happy about that. I've been a little bit lost recently. I'm not going to go into why just yet. Maybe I'll do that another day. But yeah, the fact that this is going quite well is it's given me a renewed sense of purpose and meaning as a musician and a teacher. So thank you ever so much for that. And extra special thanks for those of you that have also gone on to join my Patreon. That's blown my mind even more. You guys are awesome, so thank you. And yeah, speaking of Patreon, there will be lesson resources for this lesson over on there if anybody needs them. But if not, let's get straight back into it. So when this is all working and you're hearing all these movements and you're feeling confident with finding all this stuff, then just start kind of filling in the gaps with like little chunks of melodic material, you know, in the pauses between those cadence points, you know. And don't think too much about it, you know. We don't have to kind of go into thinking about what modes or scales we're doing just yet. Trust your ears more than anything. If a note sounds good to you, it probably is good, you know. And then I like to think quite linearly in terms of scales and that type of stuff. Again, I'll do some videos on that type of stuff, but that helps you kind of be a bit more kind of vocal and sort of melodic in your phrasing, and if you kind of play up one string and things like that. So it also helps you to link your triads together quite nicely. You see what I mean? You can kind of venture around quite nicely like that. Remember to think about your articulation as well. It's not just about the notes that we play. Often it's more important to think about how we play them. So you know, slide into things, give it some vibrato, you know, get bluesy with things if you like, you know, particularly on this tune. It works really nicely. Another thing that's really nice is if you don't just have to stick to the moment in the chord progression where it goes 5-1 to do this. You can do this wherever you like, anywhere you want to create movement, and it's really quite fun to like delay the resolution or just play this wherever you can hear it. You know, I'll try and demonstrate that. Like moving the resolution into different parts of the bar there. Remember, you can take your 3 different diminished triad shapes that you have, these, invert those up and down the fretboard too. So, and you can use those to kind of create like rising little patterns, you know. So that's quite nice, you know. Try your best to apply these ideas to different tunes as well. They're not all as kind of friendly and relatively straightforward to get into as Autumn Leaves. However, if you spend enough time practicing this one, you're setting yourself up for a successful future when you come to try other tunes in the real book. If you think about it, we've got 2-5-1 in a major key, 2-5-1 in a minor key, right? Those two things are very, very prominent throughout all of the real book, you know. So if you look at any tune in there, you're going to see some of those things. So it's really fun to mess around with this stuff, you know. There's so many different kind of ways of thinking of this stuff. It's just different colors, different things to put on your palette of stuff that you can use, your bag of tricks. You can over this tune, you can just play like E minor pentatonic and it will sound absolutely fine. You can just play G major all over the place and it will sound absolutely fine. You can just do this and it will sound absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? But it's about balance, and it's about kind of trying to use all of the tools that you have to try and sort of create something interesting and unique to you that's your own way of playing over this. And I think the more different approaches you look at, the more different players and instruments you study. Don't just study guitar players. Always be searching for new ideas and try and find the simplest ways to understand them and just apply them. But always be musical, thinking of your dynamics, leaving space and all this type of stuff. And have fun with it, basically. It's music's supposed to be fun, all right? So go and have fun.